Alright. Now we just gotta make sure my mic is on. Alright. My mic is on, okay. So, what is up, you guys? It is your boy, Brenton Biggers here, and welcome to another video. And today, when you're looking at the title, you're probably like, okay, this is gonna be nothing special, I'm gonna click off. Well, if you are one of those people, this ain't no normal rebuild. As you could just quickly tell, I signed in Malik Sargent. Now you're like, why are you signing a 57 overall running back? It's not for the exact reason. So in this rebuild, we are going to start off from scratch. Literal scratch, nothing everywhere. And the only thing we get to have, which is just at least decent, is Malik Sargent, who has Superstar X Factor, 89 speed, decent attributes, 68 strength, and 99 trucking, with 90 break and tackle. He is the only good player that we're going to have to start off this rebuild. So what do I mean by the only good player? The rest of 70 plus overall players will be cut in this rebuild. 70 plus. So we are not allowed to have a single 70 plus overall player. I know I always do the Browns and stuff, but it makes this the most sense since they have been one of the worst franchises probably of all time. So you kind of have to put them there. I didn't do this on purpose, I swear. So, yeah. While I'm going through all this and blah, 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 I do hope you guys can like and subscribe, you know, if you haven't already. Obviously, we're getting very, very close to 600 subscribers, and tomorrow will be the 3rd year anniversary of this channel existing, which obviously I'll have a big video coming out for that as well. Like, I have a big video, I will have obviously a live stream, where I'll live stream most of the day, most likely. Dude, seeing Joe Batonia not on the Browns, that would be weird. That's just, like, weird to think about, in my opinion, but whatever. But I guess a little bit of a forward ahead. Thank you guys so much for the amount of hype this channel's gotten over the past few years. It's been a blast, you know, doing this channel for how long now? 3 years. So we're hoping that we can finally get at least to the 1,000 leagues sooner rather than later. But you never know. Also, one other twist, I'm not allowed to upgrade any of these players. So all of these players that are 70 and below, besides Sargent, I am not allowed to upgrade. So a little bit of a twist into things. So I'm literally, forced from scratch, have to draft this whatever it takes to make this team better. That is the goal. Alright, we gotta move him. Gotta move him to left guard. Actually, I can probably cut some of these tight ends. Well, that was pretty freaking scary. If you guys didn't hear it, that was my vent in the background. Because yes, I live with a vent in my room for the AC. It just all of a sudden just banged, and I'm like, what the frick was that? That was one of the weirdest things I've ever heard. Roster's minimum size off. We are still extremely far away from actually being done. Did I finish the entire offense? Yeah. So now we're on the defense. Gotta cut these two guys. Jordan Hicks. I remember when Jordan Hicks used to be like an actually like good linebacker. Not saying he's not that good now. It's just it's not quite the same. Devin Bush also had a pretty recently decent season as well. So good for him. Wait, didn't JOK like retire early or something? Did he retire early? Hold on. Is Jeremiah Kosa-Kolomoa retired? I think he says, though, he will miss the entire season due to injury. Which is kind of sad. You know, it feels pretty sad. But that's to be expected. Remember when Denzel Ward got drafted and he was such a good corner? Now no one really even talks about him. I mean, he's not bad now. It's just like he's not as good as he used to be. You know who's also another player who doesn't get talked about that much? Ronnie Hickman. That's another guy. So, all of the players... I will keep Dustin Hopkins. That's fine. But you will get cut. So now all those players are officially cut off the roster. I will just get a replacement punter for the moment being. Let's get Percy Hardman. I think he's probably one of the highest weighted kick punters in the league. I'm pretty sure that's a fact. So we're gonna simulate the entire season. Well, not the entire season, but before that, I am gonna go mess around with this a little bit. I think let's just put them all on strong. That's all I'm gonna do. So all this is on strong. Actually, I'm gonna do something a little different. I'm going to put all of them on strong, except corner and wide receiver. The only reason why I'm going to remove those two, actually, I think safety and running back, and then that would probably be it. The reason why I'm removing those four positions tonight specifically is because of I'm actually going to increase their guards as well. Guards will also get an increase. Guards, running backs, and corners, and middle linebacker will be the only positions that get an XP increase. I know this is not how things work, but it's just like I don't totally agree with a lot of the things here. And you know what I also don't agree with entirely? Is the progression. The regression is a really just stupid Like, why are you regressing at the age of 26? Like, unless you're a halfback, that doesn't make any sense. You shouldn't get any regression in this game till you're like 29. That's when you really should be getting the big and major regression. The other thing I need to turn off now is turning off the death trait regression, because that is also one of the most stupidest things I've ever seen. So that will be turned off. And now we'll just go through the entire season. And yeah. It's going to be very interesting. I'm actually curious to see how the first year this team will actually pan out. So we're starting off with a 66 overall roster, which is to be expected. And we have nothing but trash everywhere. I'll keep Grant Delpit. It's not going to make a huge, major thing. And I'm not even allowed to sign him back anyway. So, oh yeah, that's also one thing I will mention right now. I am not allowed to sign any of these players back. I am straight up just not allowed to. Let's do interior offensive lineman and DN. Those are like two of the probably most important positions I like to look at in particular. Oh no, we're gonna lose. Oh no. It's so tragic. 26 contract negotiations. Do you think I'm going to be signing anybody on this team? No. Actually, the only player I probably will sign is Sargent, since he's the only one worth keeping. And I'm not even allowed to sign you. Sargent, 7-year deal, worth this much money. And he is obviously coming back, because why wouldn't you? Like, if you were just a player in thin air, offered a contract like that, of course you're going to sign it. Before we go do the other scouting, let's go look at how many upgrades he got so far. He's got 3 upgrades. I'll take it. So now he's officially a 70 overall halfback. Let me also change the schemes to where I want the schemes to actually be. I also probably change playbooks eventually, but for now, I'm not going to do that. Oh yeah, I actually forgot to do this one thing. I am not allowed to have my first round pick. So yeah, what I mean by I'm really going to make this hard on myself, I mean that literally. So I'm not also allowed to have that pick. Also not allowed to have that pick. I'm not allowed to have any extra picks. None. You know, what team deserves it? Let's give it to my Seahawks. Might as well. And we only get a 7th round pick in return. So now, with that out of the way, so I'm only allowed to not have that for like the first 3 years, just to clarify. So let's do corner, let's do interior, no, because it's already going to be fully scouted anyway. Let's go with the tackle and quarterback, sure, why not? And now we will simulate to the midseason, where we're probably going to be like 0 and something. Yeah, ain't surprising, we're 0 and 7. How many upgrades did Sargent have so far? I'm kind of just curious. Out of anything, you got one upgrade. Out of all of that, you got one upgrade. That's genuinely sad. He still ain't even preferred as the third down halfback. That's also just sad. How many rushing yards has he had? He's had precisely 1 yard in 5 carries. How is that happening? I don't get it. Fully scout position is going to be the interior offensive line. That's just what it's going to be. Oh. Hi. I was like, for a sec, I'm like, I thought, for some reason, I thought Madden at first, and I'm like, it's like, oh my god, it's Madden. And then I look at it, it's just somebody else messaging me. Sometimes your eyes really do deceive you. Alright, so let's go fully scout these quarterbacks. I know it's not the ideal thing to do in a rebuild, and obviously it doesn't match my formula, which if you want to know the formula, here's your formula for you. You build the trenches first, then you build your skill positions, because the skill positions are the more easier positions to develop. Hey, hire me as a GM, hire me as a GM. Promise me it will not be the worst GM hire in the world. Because the best part about it, you only got to pay me $1,000 a year, probably. Imagine paying a GM like $1,000 a year. Obviously, I'm not saying I would take. I mean, I will obviously take that offer. Getting $1,000 a year would be awesome, but obviously, I probably would want a little bit more money, but I'm not going to ask for anything crazy because, again, I'm not particularly the number one GM that you're looking for. All right, Malik Sargent. Let's see how much you have done this season. Obviously, I'm not expecting anything crazy, but I mean, you'll be surprised. You'll be surprised. Let's see. How many rushing yards you had this year? 98 carries, 338 rushing yards, an average of 3.4 yards per carry, with 2 touchdowns. That is super funny. That's also his most rushing yards in his career. For a season, that's the most rushing yards he's ever had in his career. Obviously, it's going to go up from here because 1, we're going to get a better offensive line, and 2, he's going to just overall get better. So there's obviously that you have to mention. Who the frick is Winston Reed? Winston Reed apparently just had one of the best seasons of all time. So yeah, Winston Reed is a random rookie that I think the CPU just randomly signed it and got superstar dev. That is genuinely hilarious. And he got defensive rookie of the year, by the way. 8 passes deflected. He had 8 passes deflected. He had 2 INTs. He had 1 sack, 1 tackle for loss, 134 tackles. 19 of them were assists, 115 were solo tackles. That is genuinely hilarious. It's so funny when like random stuff like that just happen. It's so funny to me. Alright, anyway. Obviously, my favorite thing to do, I'm so used to this, but like, when I play, like, when I'm actually playing with a team, I actually do, like, go to this tree and just do all that stuff first before I do anything else. But in rebuilds, it's a little bit more different. Oh, that's the thing. Alright. We are finally in free agency. And I am not allowed to sign any Browns players this year. This year only I'm not allowed to. As much as I would love to, I can't. Like, I can't sign Joe Batonian. Honestly, there's not a lot of players I probably would want anyway. I mean, maybe Elijah Molden, if I can even get him. Like, he's pretty decently young. And he could be potentially a good player in the secondary. Isaiah Rodgers wants to come here. Sure, I'll just offer you the base contract. Well, you know, a matter of fact, who is interested in coming here? Like, it's just him and Josh Myers. I mean, again, I might as well offer him a base deal. I mean, he won't be here long term, but just, you know, something I might as well do. I did not mean to click you. So, moment of truth. Did we sign anybody? So we signed Elijah Molden and Isaiah Rodgers. The only player we didn't end up signing was Josh Myers, who I didn't really even care anyway. So, like I really cared. Isaiah Spiller. No, you are not starting over my boy Sargent. Heck no. How is Sargent not a third down running back? That is legitimately sad. Sargent is by number 3 slot wide receiver. That is depressing. I mean, to be fair, though, there's, like, nobody on this roster. So you can't even really blame that. I'd probably sign, like, probably just a couple, like, role players. You know, who are just, like, some young studs out there? Let's look at some young studs. Bobby Brown III. Let's get Damian Brown. He's always... I feel like this is again a guy who I feel like could be a genuinely decent receiver if he was in the right system. But he's just never gotten that chance. You know, there's another guy who I actually been thinking, if he was in the right system, he would probably be a good quarterback. Where is he? Is he a free agent? I don't think he is. Oh, he is. Trey Lance. I would pay somebody to see a full season of Trey Lance. Like, I believed he was actually going to be a freak in the Niners system. But ever since Brock Purdy came, his career has been jeopardized. Like, to the freaking core. You know, let's get like just a decent edge rusher. It doesn't have to be crazy. Yeah, Cleveland Farrell, might as well. So this guy is one of the biggest draft busts probably in the modern time. So, like, what I mean by modern time, I mean by, like, the past 10 years. He's probably one of the biggest busts of all time. And I think everybody can agree with that if you've actually watched football and look at stats like I have. It's kind of sad, though. Like, he was the 4th overall pick from a lousy Las Vegas Raiders team during the time that just moved to Las... Did they just move to Las... When did the Raiders move to Las Vegas? I forgot. When did the Raiders move to Las Vegas? It was 2020. So they actually weren't in Las Vegas yet when they drafted him. When they drafted him, they were still in Oakland. Man, I feel bad for Oklahoma fans. Like, obviously you still have one of the best college football teams, I think, in the Oklahoma team. I don't watch college football that much, if you haven't told, but It's just nice. You know what sucks? I just realized this. We're not going to get one of these top quarterbacks, aren't we? Damn. You know, let's just look at whoever the frick are, like, the fastest receivers. There's, like, a couple out there, probably. And then let's look at whoever the fastest corner is. Obviously, again, I know this isn't, like, my rule book, but that doesn't mean I can't break the rules just a tiny bit of the velocity of the Brenton Biggers. Okay, that sounded stupid as hell. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to trade for a first round pick and try to trade it for like next year. So what I'm going to do, and this might be stupid, but I am literally going to try to get a first round pick for all of his draft capital. So surely I think some team, maybe in like the top 15, will probably accept this. So let's look here. Let's look for like a mid-draft pick. Yeah, like the Dolphins. We're actually kind of close, and that kind of makes me a little upset. Lions, they may accept this. They're not quite there. So I think we can get like the 20th pick probably. Maybe 21st. Let's just go with Cincy's. Cincy's accepts. Okay. So we get the 21st overall pick. And literally what I'm going to do with this pick is trade for a first round pick next year. I know it's stupid, but we literally have physically no other choice but to do this. So, oh wow. I would actually accept that if we just got a pick this year. I'm genuinely not kidding. Rams, would it be a bad offer? You know, let's see if this would work. I'm gonna go to the Vikings, offer obviously this pick for exchange of their first rounder next year, as well as a 5th round draft pick, as well as a 2nd next year. I'm just curious if they will accept this or not. They probably won't. They actually did. Alrighty. Moving on. So now we're in the 5th round pick range. Let's see if there's any like non-UFEN free agents or players. There's actually 2 day 3 guards. I think it's just gonna come down to who has the most strength. That is literally what this is gonna come down to. So he has great strength. This guy, on the other hand, has also great strength. This guy's probably better. He's better because he's at more of an agility blocker rather than a power blocker. That's why I say he's better. So there you go. There's one of our few players that will actually genuinely help this team. Then this final pick, let's just get a wide receiver. You know, there's literally no point not trying to. There's still one deep threat wide receiver left. Yeah, this guy's a freaking nutsack. He is super duper fast. Alright, so we got a wide receiver. We got an interior offensive lineman, so at least Trey Lance has somebody to protect him from getting sacked 30 million times a game. And again, he has Sargent. Like as people may say this is weird, but I don't think this is the worst possible offense you can physically have. I don't think it's the worst. There's a lot of worser situations out there. Actually, I disagree. It's probably still the worst offensive situation you can ever have, but it can't be the worst possible scenario. That's the thing. There's a 79 overall kicker. Hell yeah. I'm only going to be allowed to sign one UFEN because I just don't think I want to build this team just off of UFEN signings. I just don't want to do that. Because then it kind of makes it a little, well, quicker than I want it to go. So that's why. Oh, it's just a repeat. I hate when that happens. I hate when we get like a repeat of messages. It kind of bothers me. It bothers me a lot, actually. One of the few features I don't like about this. Having on the bottom right here, I wonder, does it even show up for you guys? I don't think it does. Does it show up for you guys? I don't see it showing up, so I don't think it shows up at least. Alright, so training camp. Let's go try to develop Doug Page. Okay, maybe this wasn't the best thing to do. I mean, I should just be easily cooking all of these corners because Page has 99 speed and we're going to get 67 overall cornerbacks. So I should relatively have a very easy task at hand. Once again, Doug Page. Dude, I'm really excited that we're almost at the NFL season. Yeah, that means that school's also coming around. But I'm still kind of excited in general. Alright. There we go. We did it. So we get, obviously, the free skill point. It's basically the only player I really wanted to do. Sargent, he's going to get it with 99 eventually. I know he will get to it. Wait, is he 6 foot? I forgot, the sucker's 6 foot. You know how I said this before. If you have a receiver that is running below a 4.3 and he's 6 foot, that is a athletic freak. If you could just get him good at route running, catching, all that stuff, you have a genuinely big beast receiver at hand. Like, I mean that literally. Alright, so I'm not going to change any of my scouting. So I guess I could just really technically go to the off-season almost. But I am still curious to see if will Doug Page, 1, get Offensive Rookie of the Year. And 2, how many yards will Sargent get this year? Obviously, I think he probably will get more since we should technically have a better offensive line than we did last year. So, Trey Lance sucks garbage. Yeah, Sargent has had a way better season in terms of the first half. So far, he still hasn't had a better season than he did last year. And Doug Page is not anywhere close to probably winning Offensive Rookie of the Year, which is pretty unfortunate. But Brandon Collins has only allowed 1 sack so far, so I'll take it. Cleveland Farrell has 2 sacks. And Kayline Wallace has 3 interceptions. Good for him. So obviously, all the scouting is going to stay the same. And now what we're going to do is continue on upgrading Sargent to be one of the best running backs in the league. I'm telling you, he's going to get to a 99 eventually. He's already a 77. Actually, that means he gets abilities now, doesn't he? Mm-hmm, he does. Doug Page is up to a 73. I'm going to probably continue just upgrading him as a more of a deep threat receiver. The reason why I want him to be more of a deep threat is because, well, the sucker has 99 speed. Of course I want him to be more of a deep threat. Hey, speaking of Oklahoma, he's out of Oklahoma. I hear me talking about how Oklahoma, and I feel bad for them having no actual national football team. They have that. Dude, I really hope that the league, like the NFL league, eventually expands. Like, I hope it expands to other places. Like, I mean by, like, teams actually, like, expand to maybe, like, places like Oklahoma, for example. Or, the UK. Like, you know, places like that, you know, like have a home of an NFL team. Because it also makes sense because there are a lot of teams that reside in Florida. Like, I don't know why, but there are 3 teams in Florida. You have the Jacksonville Jaguars, the Miami Dolphins, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Why are they all in the exact same division? Or not, they're not all in the exact same division. Why are they all in the same state? I don't get it. Like, I feel like it's fine for, like, Tampa to be there and Miami, but, like, Jacksonville, they just genuinely just don't feel belong there. Like, to be honest. They just don't feel like they should be there. So, I'm not even probably going to fully scout any of these guys, aren't I? Let's just look at any offensive lineman that may have potentially elite strength, which none of them do. Well, in terms of the left tackle position. The right tackle position also guarantees none of that as well, which is really freaking bizarre. Now we are going to the offseason. I really do hope for a couple things to happen. 1, Sargent has a way better season than he did last year, which he probably will. 2, our rookie receiver wins Offensive Rookie of the Year. That's what I'm hoping for. Is that going to happen? Probably not. But you never know. We're probably going to go 0-17 if I had to imagine. We are 0-17. Wow, what a surprise. We have the worst offense. Trey Lance had literally 2.4 times the amount of touchdowns he threw for interceptions. That is disgusting. Sargent had 566 rushing yards. So yeah, he did play better. And yeah, that's not going to make him win Offensive Rookie of the Year. That's for damn sure. DJ Humphries allowed 16 sacks. Ouch. That hurts. Who had the most sacks? Probably Cleveland Farrell. Yeah, Cleveland Farrell with 3 sacks. Surprisingly, has the most sacks on our team. That's not surprising at all. Alright, so let's continue to fill out this tree here. This is one of the biggest trees that we need to fully build for obvious reasons. I am very hoping, though, that we can potentially get... I wonder if we will be getting a high draft pick from Minnesota. I am just curious, like, what pick did we get from Minnesota? We got the 13th overall pick. We also got the 45th overall pick. So take that. And what? I think the year after the following year, I think we finally get our first round pick. I think. Who was our undrafted rookie again? Oh yeah, it was our kicker. Obviously, I'm signing him long term. He's probably going to be one of the best kickers in the league eventually. Just not yet, obviously. Oh my god, you know how You know, let's do it. Let's freaking do it. Let's sign Brock Purdy. Hasn't he already signed though a contract in real? Like, I'm pretty sure he did sign a contract in real life, didn't he? I think he did. I could be wrong. I'm pretty sure he did sign a contract in real life with San Fran. I think it was like $53 million a year, wasn't it? I could be wrong. Khalil Mack has X Factor. That is a weird sight to see. Obviously, because of no dev trait progression, it's going to be like most players will probably end up having X Factor and keeping X Factor. Which I wish that, like, I wish there was a way like you could decrease the likelihood of a decrease, you know, X Factor. Who else do I just want? You know, who else just has like genuine interest in being here? Obviously, Kendall Fuller does. Joshua Anderson. I don't even know who you are. But welcome aboard, buddy. Alright, those are a little bit of the only free agents I go in trying to sign. I will be very surprised if Brock Purdy ends up signing here. Yeah, Joshua Anderson Williams will be the only guy who actually signs here. So now we have, I think, 2 decent corners now, don't we? Yeah, because Isaiah Rodgers. Like, for now, I have to, like, manually go and upgrade every single person who I know I signed, which is kind of frustrating, or drafted, which eventually I will just not have to do this feature. Eventually, though, that's the problem. Let me turn on this fan and then turn on this one. So you guys aren't just like hearing the fan. Obviously, I don't know if you guys can, but I'm just playing a little cautious with that. You know, I'll just upgrade. Yeah. Alright, Malik Sargent gets another couple of upgrades. I'm hoping that Sargent just becomes a freaking freak of nature eventually. Obviously, that won't probably happen anytime soon, but you can only hope. And you know what I'm also going to do? And this is a fun fact, actually. I will be trading. I think I have a smart idea with what to do. Obviously, I don't really care about my first round pick all the way to 2028. I just straight up do not care. We're going to trade these 2 picks, as well as the 7th pick, because I actually have no choice but to do that, because it's from the Bills. And we're going to just hope that we can get some first round picks in the coming years. Which team do I just like absolutely know for certain is probably not going to do as good as they did last year? Yeah, this team for certain will do that. Will they accept this though? They do. Okay, I'll take that. So we get 3 first round picks from the Steelers. Sweet. Cool. So this will probably be one of the only genuine draft classes that we actually have like picks. I'll probably trade my second though still, because I can turn that into a first round pick, which I don't know what logic makes that turn into a first round pick, but I won't complain. I'm just gonna question. Alright, so now we could go into the draft, finally. And we could finally use a first round pick. Okay, you guys may hear that, but that's okay, probably. Oh, we have actually some there's a first round D-tackle. Interesting. There's a top 5 offensive guard. You already know I'm about to take that guy. Dante Teal is the guard. So now I can move who I drafted last year to right guard rather than him playing left guard. I was about to say he probably could play right tackle, but since he's 6'2", he definitely cannot. So you're gonna continue to probably play at left guard or right guard. I'm gonna trade this pick away for a first round pick next year. Looks like the Bengals look to offer. Let's go with the Bucks. Then with this pick, I probably want to go with that defensive tackle that was there. Yeah, there's a first round pick D tackle. I'm like, I've got to take it. This guy's a freak. Let's see if there's a round 1, round 2 tackles that are available. There's a round 1 guard available. Ooh, this is tough. I think it's going to depend on who has the most strength. He is great. He also is great. I think I will take Will McClatney. He's just younger. So we're starting to build up a nice offensive line for once. I'm actually going to go trade my 4th rounder. I'll probably trade my following 4th round picks as well for just a future second. I hope that this can go through. It probably won't, but you never know. Hey Bears, I'm offering you all this for a future second. Not quite there. How about another 5th rounder? Alright. So now we won't have a pick until the 6th round, but at least we do get a future second in next year's draft. Oh, I didn't trade our 7th. I thought I did. Must have traded my 7th instead. Whoops. Let's go get a tight end. Like, again, it's just trying to find whoever the frick can play good. Alright, Devin Irving. Welcome aboard. He actually had A in catching traffic. I'll take that. I'll gladly take that. That's actually a pretty solid tight end. Now let's just go try to get an actual... Let's get a corner. Or is there a decent center left? No. Is there just a at least semi fast corner? There's a few of them. I have to get this guy. His name is Kashim Kirkpatrick. Kashim Kirkpatrick. What a name. Kashim Kirkpatrick. Have you ever heard of a name like that before? I don't think you ever heard of a name like that before. I have to draft him. Like, there's no way I'm not. So we're actually have now a solid offensive line. Like, maybe not the best offensive line. We still need a center and right tackle, but it's much, much more manageable, though. It's much more manageable. Defensively, our defense, it's looking to be a little bit better. Still need to get an actual linebacker. That's probably one of the biggest problems right now with this team, is we still need to find a legit linebacker. And I guess I might as well do that with my undrafted UFEN free agent signing. I can. That's just if I want to. How is Khalil Mack still a remaining free agent? I don't get it. There's a 72 overall punter. I was kind of just curious, but no. Let's go get a linebacker. There's an 88 speed linebacker named Corell Harris. And he's out of Wisconsin. Alright, I'll take him. Welcome aboard, buddy. Alright, so now I do have to cut any... I feel like I should cut, though, any, like, players who are starting or are just decent remaining players. So, like, you can get cut. Jeremy Thrash can get cut. Because I have no idea. Oh, he's probably there for like another 2 years. I'm glad I cut him, actually. Joey Kills can get cut. Ernie can stay. Kevin Brewer can get cut. I know this is a little bit of a tedious process, but that's kind of how things have to work around here. There are a lot of freaking corners. Miles Harden is going to get cut. There's going to be a lot of corners I'm probably going to end up cutting here. Do I really want to cut all these corners, though? You know, let's just move it some of them to, like, outside linebacker. Because they're probably not going to play that great at linebacker, if I had to assume. So I could just do that. Yeah, I know.
Oh, you got a message too?
Yeah. So I will be wrapping this up a little bit early. So I will live stream a little bit later doing this as well. Like, I think I'm gonna do this again, not the next day, but the following day. So you will also get this again on the following day as well. So that is what is gonna happen. So, but anyways, guys, I really do hope you guys enjoy. I know this is a little bit of a shorter one, but I'm forced to do laundry, and plus I also want to go to the pool. So, you know, I have a life, guys. I have a life. All right, I have a life that isn't just streaming and making videos. All right, but anyway, see you guys later.